I never thought that part of my parenting would be making costumes for my son. Hi, I'm Tyler Smithart, and today I'm becoming Nova. My first memory of Marvel is actually from my cousin. He was really big into comics, and he's the one that got me into them. Characters that had all this power, and all they wanted to do was help people. It was a really big eye-opener for the type of person you could be. For Halloween, I had dressed up as comic book characters and things like that, and I'd have gotten picked on for it. And so for a long time, I stopped because I didn't want to be an outcast. I didn't want to be picked on. I didn't want to be that guy. I didn't want to be bullied. My first memory of cosplay, I was talking with several of my friends, and they told me there was a convention. They said we should all go and we should all dress up. We started walking around and saw everybody was in costume and everybody was taking pictures and everyone was comfortable. It was a very freeing experience to realize that it was okay. The very first time that I was going to wear a costume, I had actually purchased my costume online, and it came in and it was horrible. I thought, there's no way I can't make a better costume than this. I learned how to sew, just hand sew, from my great-grandmother, and then someone bought me a sewing machine for Christmas. And then I found foam, which was pretty much a game changer, as it is for more or less anyone that's in the cosplay world now. This version of Nova was kind of an outcast, and then he was chosen to be something more. That's kind of every comic book nerd's ideal. He has pretty specific colors. It's a very dark blue and a very specific shade of yellow. It was actually more stressful figuring out the emblem because that's the focal point of Nova. Without the logo and without it being the right size or in the right shape, it doesn't matter how well you do on the rest of it, no one's gonna know who you are. Some of the pictures of Nova, he has the glowing eyes because he's in space and he's got the energy powers and things to that effect. So I wanted to make sure and have that. And it's ultraviolet LEDs that are built into the front of the helmet that can shine at my eyes. And then I have a set of ultraviolet contacts that pick up the light and make it glow. It was really fun getting to go to a con with my son. There were several people that came up and said, I wish my dad would do that with me. Or there were several dads that came up and said, my son won't go to conventions with me. He specifically wanted to do the Sam Alexander version of Nova because he had all kinds of really cool powers and he was a kid. Going and getting to see people not only recognize who I was, but appreciate the fact that I had done the costume was great. Lots of people kept coming up saying that they had never seen a Nova, or they've definitely never seen two Novas. Because it's been 80 years of comics, it's really easy to forget how many people have read those comics, how many people have been influenced. Making costumes for my son is always an interesting challenge. I'll be hot, I'll be uncomfortable, I can't sit down, that's fine, but that's not gonna work for an 8-year-old who wants to run and jump and show off his superpowers. So I had to make it to where all of the pieces were a little bit more flexible to where they could move, to where he could move, he wouldn't get uncomfortable, he wouldn't get too hot. He enjoys getting to do the poses. He studied for 2 months or so before when we had even started talking about doing the characters.
It's pretty great being kind of like on the outside, not dressing up in costume, and getting to watch my son and Tyler just form into that character, and being able to get to see everybody and how they react and accept him pretty to my heart.
He gets to see all the other people that are like-minded, all the other people that get to go in costume, and all the people that come up and congratulate him and tell him how great he looks and how cool he is. He is getting to grow up knowing that it's okay to be whoever you are. He's very sweet, he's very kind, he thinks about everyone else more so than himself as much as possible. And for me, that's pretty much what I got from comics.